I really needed to clear a few things up with regard to my video this morning. Thank you for everybody that took the time to go through that analysis. This is Randy Kirk. If you like this kind of content, please hit like, subscribe, notify. This will not be my last video of the day. This will be a fairly short video, but I will still have my normal quote unquote Monday morning video coming later today that'll talk to you about all the things that are coming up this week and how those things might affect Tesla stock, as well just as in general the stock market. So that's coming probably in a couple of hours. Let's see, it's 2:45 in California as I'm recording this. It'll probably come out around 6 California time. So, all right, there was a few people that jumped in and said that I got some things wrong, and I don't like getting things wrong. And so I thought I better come back and do this goofed video. So let me start off by talking about what the stock price was back in November of 2021. And if you look here, you'll notice, let's see if I can get this to work. If you look back here, it was 402, 409. I misread on my phone what the actual date was and what the actual amount was. So actually on the 3rd, it was at I can't quite make this do it. It was 402, 40, almost 403. On my phone, it must have looked like 404. That's where I got my 404, and that's where I got my 11. Actually, that's now saying 11-1. But anyway, so now on 11-4 was the date I probably should have taken. That would be 409.97. That's close enough. I think we could just call it 410. So from now on, when I talk about the all-time high, I'm just going to refer to 410 because it's so much easier to refer to it that way. So if 410 is the real all-time high, then we double that, we would get to 820. Okay. So now the reality of getting to that number, well, it's pretty unrealistic. I never suggested that I thought that was really going to be the number. In fact, over and over and over again, I said, I'm not making that as a prediction. I'm saying it's a possibility only based on having all of those four. I'm not going to go back over the four criteria. I'll put a card here so that you can go take a look at the video this morning if you didn't already look at it. But my estimation or my statement about getting to 808 or now 820 by November 4th, not 3rd of this year, that was based on four criteria all having to be met. And I missed a criteria. One of you in the comments, by the way, these are both responses to comments. One of you in the comments said, well, Randy, there was all this money. All the retail investors had all this money that they had gotten from the COVID thing, and it was just burning a hole in their pocket. And so retail investors were pouring in there. There was all this exuberance and enthusiasm, and the thing was on fire, and everybody had FOMO. And so all that was also taking place at that time that drove the stock up to these crazy highs. I agree. Okay, I'm going to talk to that issue in 1 minute. I'm going to come back to that. So stick with me because I'm going to come back to that. Now let's look at July of that year, just for fun. July 19th, we'll call it. July 19th of that year, we were at 215.4. So $215 a share, and it ended up from there roughly doubling. So doubling from now until then becomes a reality. Okay, it could happen again. Again, we're basing it on all that cash coming in, as well as the other criteria being met. Mostly, really quickly, the criteria were things like the market would be doing very well, a good bull, risk on. Tesla would have good third quarter earnings, knocking it out of the park. The Cybertruck would come out, so we have some kind of a catalyst. All those things would have to happen, but it could double. I hadn't thought about that. So between now and November 3rd, when the last all-time high was hit, we could actually double from 280, 281. I think we closed on Friday. So 281, that would be 562. So anyway, 562, that'd be pretty crazy. It's not 820, but oh well. So anyway, remember, some people said, Randy, you're just pulling numbers out of thin air. Well, for once in my life, I'm not. This is all based on data. This is specific and precise data of what's happened before. And I even reined it in by giving you criteria that would have to be hit, would have to happen in order for that number to happen. And then I finally said, I'm not predicting this. I'm saying 400 and all-time high for what do we decide? 410. all-time high by January after earnings, not November after third quarter earnings. So that's my current prediction, unless, of course, we have a breakthrough in FSD, or we have a breakthrough in robots, Optimus. All right, now let's go to my other slide here. Go down to here. Let's go to this slide. Okay, now this is an interesting one. Talking in terms of cash available to drive the market crazy. And this is an article from Yahoo Finance that talked about we have record amounts of money sitting in money market funds. Look at the numbers here. We look at 1921. I don't know what the number was here, but it was way, way less. It was on the order of, I want to say 45. Let's see if it'll give me numbers. It won't give me numbers, but it was on the order of, say, 4.5 trillion in money, maybe 4.6, something like that, sitting on the sidelines back in 21, 22, dip down here. And then all of a sudden in 23, it's gone to $5.3 trillion of money sitting in money market securities. And Bank of America noted several months ago that people with money just in their checking and savings accounts is 4 times as high as it was before COVID. Before COVID, 4 times now what it was before COVID. So is there enough money on the sidelines to make this happen? The 5th criteria will be, does the money pour in out of cash and cash equivalents into the market because of FOMO, because of excitement, because of enthusiasm, because of this is coming, because of whatever else it might be? Do we meet all 4 criteria in order to even get to my number, 400, to get to this doubling that's possible? We've seen it happen before, a doubling of the price from here until then. And the third would be the crazy idea that given that the profits have doubled by November compared to where they were 2 years ago in November, stock should double the all-time high. Now, maybe it doesn't happen in November. Maybe it takes until December. Anyway, this is just fun stuff to do. I'm not doing it to get clicks. Of course, I like clicks and I like views because that's how I pay for the channel. But I didn't do it for that reason. It was really because I looked at the data and went, oh my gosh, I had never looked at it that way before. I bet everybody would enjoy going through the exercise. It hasn't changed my point of view about when we hit the numbers end of December for all-time highs. All right, I hope that was helpful. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify, join Patreon. Thank you so much for all of those folks that joined Patreon this week. Buy the books. If you haven't bought the books, it's time to buy the books. It's been great talking to you as always.